Ezekiel Elliott playing center. They started running back. They had him playing center. Hey, Commanders Nation, it's your boy Hog Farmer Keith from the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation. Before you start listening to Owning the Huddle podcast presented by Red Zone in the Lab, check out our Amazon Smile, a simple and easy way to support the Hog Farmers Charitable Foundation every time you shop, and it costs absolutely nothing to you.
Welcome to Owning the Huddle podcast presented by Red Zone in the Lab, where we discuss all things Washington Commanders, from the executive and front offices, coaches, players, and fan experience. Join DT, Breeze, CeeLo, and Deuce as they break down the pre- and post games. Do it because you love it and not because it loves you. Hail Commanders!
Listen, we are back with part 2 of our position grades. Today, we're going to do offense. The defense didn't do so well. Yes, we do have on the same clothes because we're actually doing this the same day. But if you noticed that, that's good. If you didn't, oh well.
Welcome to DC. You know we're at the USA Cup. You're taking it slightly. I'm taking it slightly. Now how you throw at them, you gon' be right back. Well, we gon' be right here. We gon' be right here. We ain't going nowhere. Welcome to DC.
We are back going over position grades. We are doing the offense, and we're starting with special teams. That means the kickoff team, that means the punt team, and that means the field goal team. DT, what is their grade?
It's going to be a B, all because of the kicker, man. Joey Sly missed too many kicks for me, man. I mean, the brother works up the top of his body, but the bottom part don't work. The bottom part don't match up with the top, man. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. He really brings the whole grade down. It was way too many missed field goals and stuff for me. But of course, the punt team has been good. Kickoff coverage has been good, but Joey Sly, man, please bring some competition for this.
I don't even think it was missed. It was more missed PATs than anything, wasn't it?
Yeah, he pulling Maher. I'm looking at Maher right now. He still ain't got no confidence right now, man. Come on, man. Come on, Sly. Work out, man. Work them legs out. Leg day. Don't skip leg day today, man.
CeeLo, special teams, man.
Yeah, so I agree. So he had a lot of touchbacks. Like I think every freaking kickoff was a touchback. Maybe we had a couple of returns, so that's good. But yeah, man, I can't trust him both in the kicking game as well as in the extra point game. I'm nervous back there. Now maybe that's the same for every kicker in the league, but like it's crazy. Like the amount of kicks that he missed the other day and the extra points, it's just not. It don't make any sense, bro. You have one job, and I'm just one of them people. It sounds horrible, but I just don't give kickers a lot of grace. I'm like, bro, you got one job, Like I gotta depend on you when it's time to either hit the extra point or a chip shot. 25, 30. I can't say that's going to be as automatic anymore. The last thing is, I know kickers they go on cycles, right? They catch fire and they like kick for 50 for 50. I think Sly's in that little bit of a downward trend right now, so I'm giving him about a B.
I'm going B-, and that's because of Joey Sly. I mean, we didn't talk about our Pro Bowl punter at all. I mean, he's legit. He's elite. Yes. So people don't, say we ain't got no elite players. We got at least one. We got an elite punter for sure. There's no doubt about that.
But then this Joey Slye dude, man, like I took a beating at that Chicago after that Chicago game for calling out Joey Slye. They was all in my mentions, just dogging me, man. What he talking about? Blah blah blah. All right, we'll see. And then look, dude missing field goal. Yeah, but he won us the Philly game. Yeah, he almost lost us like a few other games. So, but I think they just need to bring competition in. I bring him back, but he needs competition, man. And I think he's also an unrestricted free agent. So, but yeah, I give them a B minus. Lucky it's not a C plus because we have an elite punter that really helps out. What you got, Breeze? I really wanted to do a C, but that's okay.
Nah, I could do a B minus. Joey, man. My bad, Dick. I didn't mean to cut you off when you was giving your answer, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he missed more PATs than he missed field goals, which to me makes it even worse. Because like you can literally pick which hash you want the ball to be on. It's a set distance, same distance every time. To see those points, you have one job. And we losing games, but we average 18 points a game. So we losing games by 1, 2, 3 points. Joey, it's your time to shine, baby. You know what I mean? So B minus.
So just to pile on, he went 4 for 5 between 30 and 39 yards. He went 8 for 10, 40, 49 yards, and 4 for 6, 50 plus yards. Overall, 25 for 30 on field goals, and then 24 for 28 in extra points. It just so we like y'all point is we score so few points that you remember them.
Yeah, that's the issue. Yeah,
that's the issue. It's like, oh, you score 40 points a game, but when you score 18 to 21 points a game, well, them points is like they come hard.
We need them points for sure.
What it is.
We need them points for sure. All right, so let's go to tight ends. Tight ends. Logan had one good game. Marnie Rogers had one good run. People real high on Marnie Rogers for that one good reverse run he had. So I think for me, I think Bates had a pretty solid year, right? I think Bates had a pretty solid year. So I'm gonna go overall C minus for the tight ends, man. What about you, DT?
Nah, this CeeLo group right here, man.
We'll go to CeeLo last because that's definitely gonna bring the grade down.
The tight out of all the rooms, I think the tight end room was probably debatably the second or most disappointing group on the offense this year. Have to account for the injuries that has happened. Logan Thomas was still he did not look the same this year. He did have that one good game, but after that, the tight ends were really just an afterthought in this offense. I think that kind of led to the struggles of scoring, especially trying to utilize them and things like that. Then Amari Rogers, that he's a young, promising player. I think he's going to get more opportunities this year. I think that's going to be the reason why we let go of potentially a Logan Thomas with $10 to $8 million like that. Then you got John Bates still his second year. He looks solid. He's still a solid blocker. Then you got Cole Turner. I just need him to get more opportunities as well. I think that's the reason why we didn't get a lot from tight ends. I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to say a D because we didn't get the production that we needed and the blocking was as horrible just with the offensive line.
What about you, Breeze?
I'm gonna give them boys an F plus because I mean they still showed up the run. I can't just outright give them
I've never heard of an F plus before.
I'm gonna give them an F plus because they did show up. Like they showed up to work. You know what I mean? But I mean, we went in the training camp with 45 different tight ends, and between man, there was a lot of them. Between if you take every tight end, I think it was like 7 of them, and like realistic, 6 or 7 of them. If you take every tight end that played an active game this year, You can't come up with 3 memorable plays combined from the tight end group. I can't. I can do 1, maybe 2. 3 is pushing it. If somebody said give you 1 from each player, you gonna have a tough time. And then with the way the offense was being called, isolating them one-on-ones in pass blocking situations, and them getting absolutely killed routinely. I mean, y'all know offense is my thing. Like receiver and tight end is my thing. And there was nothing. They gave me nothing. They gave me nothing this year. I mean,
I might say F+.
I mean, we listen. We could have played that game. We could have played this season with no tight end for the majority of the season, and it wouldn't have made a difference. You could argue that in some of them pass blocking situations, they'd have been better off adding a 6 lineman in there, and would have gotten better production. I mean,
only thing we need to go to CeeLo, you know. I mean, we might as well just chalk this down for an F, you know.
That's pretty.
I'm sorry.
What you got, CeeLo?
I was gonna say about an E. You see it in red ink, right? Yeah, bro, it's bad. It's bad. Anyway, Breeze covered it. Disappointing season, top to bottom. Everyone was talking about Cole Turner in camp and the draft and Logan Thomas coming back, which I expected to be a little slower. I understand that. I was actually surprised he came back as soon as he did. But he did come back, and I props for that, because I know I've never had an ACL, but I can only imagine what that's like, having to block some of your best, you know, defensive ends and different position players across that line. So respect, but it was embarrassing. Blocking, receiving, they combined for 60 receptions. 60 receptions, 2 touchdowns. That's it.
They had 2 touchdowns?
Yeah. They had 2 touchdowns. Logan Thomas had one, and John Bates had one. Bates had that one in Atlanta in the back of the end zone. It's so few you can remember every single touchdown.
Yeah, it's those 2 and Amari Rodgers reverse. Like, that's it.
With
like,
the reverse, okay, boom. We hit
that's 3.
The reverse is the only one
there you go. There you go. That's your memory right there.
The reverse is,
and we had to talk through it. So yeah. E.
That's nasty, man. All right. O-line. Look, we're gonna do them together. I'm gonna give them oh my gosh.
Let me get back to my
it's getting worse and worse, huh?
Oh, let me see. Right.
Where the red pen at?
He doing red letters. He doing red letters. DT, where your red pen at, DT?
Man, I got papers to grade, man. I ain't got time grading now. I'm gonna tell you straight up.
One teachers grade online now. Y'all got online stuff.
Yeah,
what's
man.
Your grade, DT?
These Mammoth they get.
This is crazy.
These Mammoth get a straight F. They can't even get a chance to redo it. They didn't pass no SOLs. You can't go through remediation. Like, you just straight failed this year. Oh my gosh. Offensive line was so horrible this year. We had great expectations. We thinking signing 2 guys that have been a Ron system, that knew Scott Turner, it was going to be an easy transition for them to come and still have solid play to help out with Carson Wentz or whoever was the quarterback back there. I was egregiously wrong. These guys are old. These guys cannot get to the second level. I was very disappointed in Cosby extremely, because I thought he was going to take the next step in being a right tackle. Charles Leno had a bad year. Like, the offensive line overall was just bad. And then injuries didn't help it out as well. You now have 2 centers that lost back-to-back years because of injury. And you had a guy that everybody was hyping up in practice, and you didn't see him till the last game of the season, Chris Paul. And he looked pretty decent. So that also tells me that you don't know if the guy can play or not, and you just wait till the last game, like, okay, let him play, and he looks decent. And I had to deal with 17 games of Andrew Norwell falling on his back, Trey Turner not getting up because he's checking his knee pads, and I'm done. I'm done, man. Give them an F. They cannot regrade it. They will not pass. They all fail. They come back next year.
What you got, Breeze?
First of all, I agree with everything DT said up until that very last sentence with them having to repeat the grade. I don't need them repeating nothing next season. But I was thinking about it as he was talking. It's like, I don't know if y'all remember, but you remember during training camp we went to Spaces, like when I was actually at camp, like doing like the live reporting training camp in the Spaces, and I remember then the majority of the offensive linemen getting beaten badly in one-on-one work. Like, I mean, whooped. Like, y'all remember when they signed Norwell? We was like, oh yeah, it's like a cheaper version of Sheriff. He was an all-pro. We know this. Like, yo. And then, like you said, with Chris Paul, offensive line in shambles all year. He's a 6th-round pick, 7th-round pick, and apparently, like DT said, you have no clue what he is because he's the one person who didn't play all season.
Right.
He literally played the last game because there was nothing left to play for, and there was no other option. You know what? Go ahead, Chris. He wasn't even hurt. He was just a healthy scratch for every game. Never on practice squad, never injured, just didn't play him. I'm like, all right, well, you know what? You gave him an F, right?
Pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna just stick to that. I'm gonna stick to that. I was going to drop it a little bit lower than that.
Yeah, I get an F.
You get lower than the F? You with a U?
Hey, you can. In my grade book, I just gave somebody an F plus. You think I won't add a minus to that F? Listen, I'm not gonna do it. Because you get an F minus, you might get kicked out of school. But just go ahead and take this F, man, and yeah.
CeeLo, what you got, man, with your red pen?
Eloquently put. I was gonna say a 0. 0. They get no grade.
It's nasty.
It was embarrassing. I think the reason why, as a unit,
nasty.
going from 2021 to 2022, and the y'all all offseason, none of us thought that unit was going to be a problem. We were thinking secondary. We were thinking, Carson Wentz. You never know. We wanted to make sure Curtis Samuel was healthy. That was a storyline. William Jackson III coming back. The story was the freaking offensive line the entire time. We never knew it. Into that Detroit game, right? That Detroit game was it. Yeah. That was it for me. That was it. And by the way, and Chase Roulier played the whole game. It wasn't until the end of the game he got hurt. So even with Chase Roulier in the game, they were giving up Hutchinson was up back there. He was about to dance, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is my coming out party right here. I'm in the NFL."
We had two, both Thibodeau was a rookie, right?
Yeah.
So we had two rookies have their coming out party against us.
Yo, Hutch came out against us.
Hutchinson and Thibodeau.
Dog, yeah, KT too. But at least Thibodeau had a lot of games. He kind of worked his way up. Yo, Hutch just got off the bus.
But he ain't have another game like that since or before.
No, I ain't seen Hutch. Hutch got that interception, I think. Whatever. He straight up was beasting. All 5 dudes felt Hutch that day. So
that's all right, man. We got that out the way. Running backs. Let's talk about the running backs. Where we at, DT?
Okay, so the running backs, I'm gonna give them a B plus, and it's mainly because it's not their fault because the offensive line was horrible, so they had to get what they had to get with the yards that was given to them. B-Rob looked good this year. I wish he didn't have that incident that happened to him. We probably would have seen him way healthier and probably been different in a lot of games early. And also, what's my guy name? McKissick. McKissick got hurt too, so that kind of affected things down the stretch. But you also had Antonio Gibson. He looked good. I like the running back room overall. And then even Jared Patterson and Williams got some burn this year. It's a pretty solid group with some different skill sets. So I'm gonna give them a B plus.
What you got, Breeze?
I'm thinking low B. I'm gonna give him a low B. Robinson showed that he's an NFL running back, even behind a bad offensive line. It's only. I know obviously we're not playing this year, but like not playing anymore. But it's only a matter of time before he pops one. Like he's like this close, like every game to breaking a huge run. He may not have like breakaway speed, but the cutbacks in the division is there. Gibson, I actually like Antonio Gibson a lot. A lot more than a lot of other people do. I just think he's not being used correctly in the offense, which should change given current events, recent events. Um, so my grade on him is a little iffy. Williams is very good in short usage. I think the more you have to kind of lean on him, you get he kind of falls off a little bit, but he's good at what he's supposed to be. And then the one game Jared Patterson really got to get some bump. He looked good in. And then who was the J.D. McKissick? You just got to give him an eye for the season, and that might be a wrap on him. But yeah, I'm thinking the low B. It still leaves things to be desired from everybody, but it wasn't a bad season at all, especially given the circumstances that they had to work with, play calling and offensive line.
All right, running back. So let's go to the wide receivers. It's just sad, man, that we didn't get our wide receivers involved enough in the offense, man. I think from what they showed that if we was able to scheme up for them, they would have been so much better. Somebody that can push the ball down the field. Like those first 5 drives of the season, against Jacksonville, looked like our wide receivers was about to eat real good, and then it just went downhill pretty much after that, man. But still, I think we have a good wide receiving core. I think we need to add a couple in the draft. I think 1 through 4, I think will be here next year. So with this, I give them a B also with the wide receivers. Of course, Terry and Jahan look promising. Sammy, they just wasn't used how they should have been. I think that kind of lowers their grade. What about you, DT?
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a B too. And the only thing I'm giving them a B is when looking at this group, even with Curtis Samuel coming from Carolina and playing with Scott Turner and things like that, once again, he was still underutilized, in my opinion, especially down the stretch. They were using him more in the backfield, like running plays, things like that, and there was no running lane. He can be like a 80 catch guy in his offense. And Jahan Dotson, he missed time. And I think for Terry they're not dialing him up early and they're not giving him more red zone opportunities. But this wide receiver room is deep. 1 through 6, in my opinion. I know you said 1 through 4, but Cam Sims and Dax Milne, when they give an opportunity, they make plays as well, and they're good blockers as well. De'Ami Brown had that one big game. I expect him to get a little bit way more burn this year, especially with his homeboy Howe playing this year.
What about you, Breeze? Where you at with him?
B sounds right. I would love to grade him higher because I know what this group could be. Terry is a dog, but I feel like Terry is the one of the few, if not the only, like number 1 receiver in the league where his team doesn't try to force feed him the football, and he still leads the league in contested catches since he's been in the league. Terry's a certified dog. Jahan Dotson, I said it when he got drafted that 3 years from now, Jahan Dotson might be a better receiver than Terry McLaurin is. I think he's a better natural pass catcher than Terry is. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a bad thing. You have a top 10 receiver and your rookie you just drafted is better than him. That's a good thing. That's a good problem to have. You know what I mean? But that being said, Jahan did get hurt this year, and kind of later on in the season did kind of I don't want to say struggle. Struggle feels kind of strong, but did have a few drops later on in the season. Curtis, listen, Curtis is a guy you just got to find a way to get the ball in his hands. I feel like Scott Turner tried a little bit too hard getting the ball into his hands with some of the running back stuff where, with the offensive line and all that, it just wasn't working. But we saw when Curtis gets the ball in his hand, dude is legitimately like a video game player, like a video game character with that ball in his hand. Like he can make people miss in the NFL, like that super good kid in Pop Warner, nobody else that he shouldn't be on the field with. Like that's how Curtis makes some dudes look. I think 1 through 4 we locked in. Like y'all said, 5 and 6 they like, but I think they can be replaced with the right guys. But all in all, not because of anything they did, but I can't go much higher than the B just because of circumstances. But it's definitely, in my opinion, an A+ unit. But just based on what they did this season, probably a B. B+ maybe.
All right, wide receivers, CeeLo, what you got?
Yeah, I like the B+, just circumstances, quarterback, offensive coordinator. I felt like we could have had at least 2 1,000-yard receivers on this squad, just given what we have in talent. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen like that. So I can't give them a big grade. I mean, we're literally 27th in the league in scoring. So how do I give you and I want to say 26th in overall yardage if you want to look at that like that. So I can't give them as much higher than a D- or a B.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least.
Don't say it.
The quarterbacks. The quarterbacks. Oh man. Listen, the quarterback didn't win us no games, right? I think we all can agree, and if you don't agree, I don't care. The quarterback didn't win us any games this year. I'm gonna go C- with the quarterbacks. I think you have to give Heineke some type of credit for motivating the guys, if you say. So that's why I'm going to C- with the quarterbacks. DT, what about you?
To me, I'm also gonna say a C-. I think this quarterback thing has just been a huge hindrance for this team the past couple of years. The Wentz trade just blew up in our face. Like, no, even you try to give him offensive line, even though offensive line was bad, even you give him a running game and things like that, he just wasn't good enough. He doesn't have the mobility like he used to. He's very inaccurate. And Heineke, we already know we had Heineke. Heineke was the main reason why we were in the playoff run, but he didn't really win us a game. He just did enough in what he had to do on offense to keep it manageable. And Sam Howell, he's just the unknown. This is the guy that we wanted to see more opportunities of, and we're just going to see. We're just going to see what's going to happen in this position. But overall, man, I just got to say just C, man.
You sound so disappointed. CeeLo, what you got?
I am, because it's like we keep doing this every year. It's really sad at this point. Like, we should at least be at a B, but we keep staying at C.
I'll say that same. I'll say about C-. They threw for total 24 touchdowns. Now, as a comparison, Patrick Mahomes had 50. Just as a quick comparison, 50 by himself.
That's nasty.
So I like it's amazing. It's hard to, like, in this day and age in NFL, man, it's so hard to not be able to put. I mean, I don't know how many does Brock Purdy have. You know what I'm saying? So Heineke is probably our version of Daniel Jones. Think about it. He doesn't win you games. He doesn't lose you games. He's doing just enough to keep ahead of the chains. And he's just he's mid, but he's our mid, and he's an undrafted mid. He's supposed to be mid. You know what I'm saying? So I can't even get mad at him. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. So it's hard for me to put him down, because he's been forced into a position for whatever reason. So, and then you got Carson Wentz. I'm not gonna mention him. So yeah, it's a C minus. I'm saying C minus, bro. C minus is unfortunate. It's sad.
All right, Breeze. Should we get this grade up a little bit? What you got?
Nope. So I was gonna go with a C minus until CeeLo just laid that stat on us. They combined for 24 touchdowns. 3 people combined for 24 touchdowns. Listen, man. Carson Wentz wasn't good. Like, met Carson a few times this year. Great dude. He's real nice. You know what I mean? He wasn't good. Period. Flat out.
Sorry, 41 touchdowns.
Who?
Patrick Mahomes. 41 touchdowns.
Still smashed us. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. He probably threw 49. They just took 8 of them away. It's whatever. Taylor Heineke, like y'all, he's average. He is exactly what he's supposed to be, but he is straight up average. And while he's capable of winning you a few games, he's more than likely going to lose you a few games too. And to Deuce's point, I don't think Taylor won us any games this year. And then as far as Sam Howell, I know eye test wise, a lot of people were elated with the game he had versus Dallas. But if you look at his stat line, it was people were extremely happy, especially the Howlers. But like if you look at his stat line, it was very comparable to Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz. Like not Carson. Carson was very comparable to Taylor Heineke. For all intents and purposes, we have 3 average quarterbacks. We have 2 average quarterbacks and at this point a bad one. I can't give you a C for that. I can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, man. B minus. Do better.
B minus. But there you
D plus. I'm sorry. D plus. I'm sorry.
That's a D as in David.
D as in David. Yes.
D is in disappointment. Hey, I think
as in disappointment.
I think Carson win us that Jacksonville game, or is that too much?
I was thinking about that. But
it's not even worth mentioning.
He lost to so many other ones. It's a wash. Like,
he won that Bears game with that block.
And he's still. Oh my God, it's Bach. And then he still had 2 interceptions in that game.
Time out. Real quick. I'm happy you said that, dude. Because outside of his touchdown pass to Jahan in the Jacksonville game, it's entirely possible that him blocking a linebacker is his play of the season.
Yep.
As a quarterback, your play of the year is throwing a block on a reverse or a script, whatever it was. It don't matter. Y'all making this worse.
That pass to Terry in Jacksonville was kind of nice, though, y'all.
Yeah, he did.
That's what we were all looking for.
Jacksonville was great.
That pass to Terry up that sideline, Terry ain't break stride. We were like, okay, 17 weeks of this. Like,
that jump went downhill.
Oh my God. It took 7 days. It took all of 7 days for that to go out the window completely.
The very next week, we were like, oh
FedEx
my.
Field was,
and then
FedEx
the Eagles
Field,
game,
Twitter, everything was lit after the Jacksonville game.
Ooh,
it took
Wentz back in Philly, or was it here in DC?
He was here. That's what made it even worse.
Yeah, Wentz going against Philly. Oh yeah,
That was bad, you know. Like
Man.
being at that game, that was bad. You know?
Horrible.
yeah. I was gonna not talk about him. Daggone it.
All right, man. This was
Oh,
this this has been good doing these position grades. Doing these position. This is bad. Okay, so D line we got A, linebackers C, cornerbacks B minus, safeties are A, special teams defense is an A. For the defense special team, for the offense special teams, we got a B, tight ends F, O line F, running back B, wide receiver B, and quarterback C minus.
Yeah.
People need to stop saying how we compare to other teams, because position by position, it does not add up.
We don't even. Let's not talk about coaches. Don't even talk about coaches.
Oh no, we doing coaches next week for sure.
We're gonna have to one of these days, dudes. We're gonna have to say how close are we? That's gonna be the title of the show. How close are we?
Oh my gosh.